We're going live. We'll try this again. I tried this and then it didn't quite save. We'll see if it's coming through. All right, we're back. I think I'm live on Instagram. I think it's actually going to save this time. Hey, you live and you learn. Let me see if we can get YouTube going. I don't know if YouTube's going. Oh, it is. Sweet. Let me pull that up so I can hear you all. Hopefully there isn't some. I just need to mute this. Thank you for joining. Maybe for the second time. If you're like, dude, JD was live like all evening. Yeah, sometimes you got to try two things at once. So here's what we're doing here, y'all. I've got an unboxing for you. Lots of other goodies. We're going to unbox a few things. I've got YouTube up and Instagram. So if you happen to be scrolling and you want to stop, I'll say hi, like Can Hunting. I'm assuming that's Canada. Thanks for joining, dude or gal, whoever's behind that. This is new for us. If you're new to Hunt XP, we started last year, bunch of buddies, mostly Johnny, Bebo, and I'm coming on here to do some fun unboxing. I got some stuff from Vantage Point Archery, got some stuff from TruDave. We are getting new products in to test this season, and I'm going to try to do these live things, unbox you for them, and break down why we're choosing to test them. So that's what we're doing. And I want to give you a preview of the podcast because we start recording this week with some really fun guests. We got Josh from the Untamed. We're recording this week. Sunday, we record with Nick Andrews from the Hunting Public. So we're stoked. If you haven't found our podcast yet, Bo is on. What's up, Bo? Good to see you. If you haven't found our podcast yet, go ahead and make sure that you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast. It should be coming to you, but we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts for sure, and a couple other places. So obviously this is live. So if you have a question for what I'm unboxing or a question about what's coming up, or if you just want to say hi, appreciate that. Again, this is my first time doing Instagram live and YouTube live. So cut me some slack. This is already round 2 because I didn't figure it out right the first time. So I got a practice run. But hey, let's dive into the unboxing. And let me give you the story behind this unboxing. So I'm going to unbox some stuff from Vantage Point Archery. They make some killer broadheads, pun intended. And essentially one of the major projects that I'm working on that I hope to let you guys in on and follow along the journey with me is I'm taking my setup for my compound bow to a heavy arrow setup. So I kind of like dabbled in the past with heavy arrow, kind of half-assed it, honestly. I put on a 150 grain broadhead, Magnus Stinger, great broadheads. And I just slapped that on my small diameter Carbon Express arrow and called it. What's up, Bo? Thanks for the comments. Appreciate it, man. Good to hear from you. I just slapped that on my Carbon Express arrows that I shot out of my Vertex Matthews, and it killed deer. It was great when I made a good shot. But I had some instances of not making great shots where I believe a heavier arrow would have done more damage and would have caused way less headaches for me. One of those scenarios, I don't know if I can pan a little bit here. Oh, the mic's in the way. I don't know if you can see one of those back there. That guy on the left, the turkey fan's like totally distorted. That's my 2023 archery buck in Minnesota, and that was an ordeal wherein I know that if I would have had a heavier arrow set up, it would not have been as nasty of a recovery, and I wouldn't have had that horrible feeling of having to go to bed without recovering a buck multiple nights until I finally found it. And so long story short, heavy arrow setup is coming. So we've found multiple different partners that we're partnering with for this project, and I want to bring you in on it. And at the tip of the spear, as it were, is VPA. These guys make some absolutely sick broadheads, and they are made with some of the highest quality steel material out there, and I'm super excited to unbox this for you guys. So this is from our friends over at VPA, Vantage Point Archery, and look at these guys. They know us. They sent some sweet hats. I'm sure you can get this merch, this nice leather hat. You tell me in the comments. Maybe we'll let Bo or whoever else is watching decide if Johnny gets the black one or the green one, or if I keep them both, which is a very viable option. So, hats, thanks you guys. In here, oh my gosh, look at this. They must have heard all the comments about how much we love stickers, because my goodness, this is like 20 stickers. And this is really funny. So, well, first of all, if you want a sticker, just drop a DM, and if you're comfortable with it, just message me your address, and I will totally put this in an envelope tomorrow with the stamp on it, and get one or two of these your way if you want a sticker. But these are pretty cool archery. So here's a story about stickers before I get to the broadheads. So this whole journey with Vantage Point actually started with a sticker on the back of a truck. I was a pickup line at my kid's school, and I see a Vantage Point sticker, a VPA sticker. I'm like, dude, Hunter. I did the most non-upper Midwest thing, and I got out of my car in the pickup line because we were just sitting there, and I went up and I started talking to the dude. I'm like, we're going to be friends, I can tell. And he told me the story that I've heard multiple times, him using mechanical broadheads, fast arrows, skinny arrows. And he's like, I made the switch, went with Vantage Point, and I have killed multiple things, and none of them have gone past 40 yards, just gushing blood trails. And it was over real fast, and it was an easy cleanup, as it were. So I was one of the many things that got me to do this. So let's jump into it. First up here is the Vantage Point. These are the 3 blade style from Vantage Point, and these are 250 grain. Both says we need a steel cage match for who gets to decide what cap they want. I love that. These are double bevel, so open these up. I gotta be careful because these things are wicked sharp, even right out the box here. But they are 3 blades. You can see that configuration there. These are probably my front runner for what I want to run this season. They're 250 grain, again, heavy arrow. So how I made these decisions is both speaking with these partners that I'm going to talk about, and also using our AI Crockett. If you're not familiar with the Hunt XP community, we have a custom AI called Crockett that we use. That's like a hunting guide that you can ask any question to. And so that's what landed me on VPA in particular, but one of these setups. So they sent us 2 different heavy arrow tips or broadheads that are good for that. I like this one because of the design. It's just going to rip a big hole in an animal. And it's got this sturdy construction. The quality of steel on VPA's broadheads is just through the roof. And they're based out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and they actually came to broadhead manufacturing from being a machine tool shop and being hunters. And it's their mission to create just amazing broadheads so that it minimizes the number of animals that don't get recovered. So take a hard look at these. This is the 3 blade broadhead setup. These are carbon tooled steel, so high quality steel. These next ones I'm going to show you are premium steel. This is their Omega line, and I'm excited for these. Also in 250 grain. Just a little bit different design. These are a double bevel. These are right beveled. You can also have left beveled. I honestly don't know what the difference would be between the two, but oh my goodness, got to be careful here. These just look awesome. I mean, I might just put those on the arrows just for looks. They're pretty amazing. So, these broadheads are fantastic. Here's another 250 grain one. I forgot to mention this on the last one, but one of the cool things about these broadheads is they made them in such a way that they are much easier to sharpen. So you can sharpen these just like, I think my understanding is you don't need a special jig for it. You don't need to buy extra tools. You can sharpen these like you would a knife blade. And maybe they won't like me saying that. Maybe there's a particular way, but part of what drew me to these is you don't need extra equipment per se to sharpen these guys. Not that they aren't sharp right out the box and ready to kill something, but would be good to run these on through a sharpener. The sharper the better. So put those back in the box. That's VPA. Those broadheads are amazing. They make amazing products. There's links in the description. Can Hunter says trade you a sticker. Can Hunt 3270. Oh my goodness, he's just slapping his address right on there. Sweet. Send me some stickers, dude. I'll DM you, and we'll get some Can Hunt stickers on the podcast too, and on here. Excited about that, man. We'll send you some stickers. If you would like some stickers coming your way, I will throw in a Hunt XP sticker and a VPA sticker of your choice. We got the circle option. We've got this cool kind of vintage looking option that they sent, and then classic VP Armory. So any questions on heavy arrow, just let me know. I'm going to break down other aspects of the setup. So obviously there's the broadhead. I'm going to play around with some inserts just to get the weight and the FOC just right up front. And Crockett's a really helpful tool, our AI, in that I can just ask it questions like I would ask someone at the pro shop. But probably the most important piece, in addition to the broadhead, is the actual arrow itself. So in researching this, in reaching out to partners, we found one of Crockett's recommendations, and one of the recommendations we saw out there was Easton. So I currently shoot Carbon Express. They've been pretty good for me, but been looking for something that can handle the heavy arrow setup even better. And my attention kept being drawn to Easton Pro Full Metal Jackets 500 spine. I think that's just going to sing for me. So I don't have them in yet, but Easton is excited to partner with us and get some of those here. And we're going to put them on these broadheads, test them out. Those will be the backbone of my heavy arrow setup. And I'm excited to see how those perform through my Matthews. But I went a little bit further. Obviously, a heavy arrow setup is just that, an arrow with a broadhead that gets the most force on contact and creates the most devastation when it matters. However, there's a lot more that goes into the kill shot and the harvest, and I am always trying to improve and tweak my setup to be even better. So there's a couple things I'm trying, and I'm expanding the partners on this project for this heavy arrow bow build that I'm doing with my Verdicts, and we're partnering with Apex Gear to also update my site, give me a new stabilizer, and I'm going to try a new release. Let me break down each three of those. When we do an unboxing for those, I'll go into more detail. But for the release, I'm trying a thumb release this time. I've always used a trigger release, and I'm looking to kind of get more stability in my shot. And so I'm going to try a different release style and use a very similar anchor point, but just a twisted wrist like this and a release like that. Never used that before. Maybe let us know what release you use, if you like a thumb release, pressure release, or a trigger release. I've always used the trigger release, and I think my mind has tricked into jerking a little bit or punching a little bit. And so I'm excited for the new mechanism to learn some new processes. The stabilizer. So I have found that I'm either lazy or have just gotten in the habit of leaving my quiver on in every single scenario. I shoot with my quiver on all the time. And I kind of got in a rhythm of doing that when I was out in South Dakota. Because quiver on, we were just running and gunning the whole time. There was no time to take it off and put it in the tree. And so I just actually don't really like shooting without a quiver because I always shoot with the quiver. And to counterbalance that quiver weight and to not get the turn a little bit, I am investing in a side stabilizer. I already have a Matthews stabilizer out front, but Apex is sending us a side stabilizer. I'm very curious to see how that might stabilize my target movement. And so I'll be flinging arrows with that stabilizer. But the biggest thing that I'm excited about from Apex Gear is they have this 4-pin sight. And there's I think on YouTube, maybe on Instagram, there is here. I'll actually drop it in the comments here. This sight. It is the Covert 4-pin sight. And right now I use, here, let me drop all of this in the comments. Right now I use an HHH single pin, and I have loved that single pin for its adjustability. Like, it is so fun on the range and so fun in the field to have confidence at every single distance. But even though I missed one in South Dakota last year because I ranged it wrong or the rangefinder malfunction. Regardless, when I'm on the range, when I'm out in the field, like, I'm not anxious about that stretch shot between my 30 and 40 pin because I can dial it in even between 30 and 20 or that. The downfall to that system of having a single pin, though, is that if after you draw back, the deer is moving or decides to move, you are put in a position where you're locked into a particular pin distance, one of them. So if you pull back at 20 and that thing kicks up and it ends up at 40, you got to let down, adjust, and then pull back and send it. And that's a ton of movement in the tree, presumably with a deer who maybe is already spooked. So I am moving to the Covert 4-pin because it gives you both the flexibility of a moving sight and stationary pins for most of your bread and butter shots. So what's great about this, and what I'm super stoked to try out, is I will have probably a 20, 25, 30 or 20, 30. Yeah, probably 20, 25, and 30, because those are the ranges that are going to get locked in. Maybe even 15. It gives you the capacity to have 3 stable pins in 1 adjustable pin, which is just like all of the best of all the worlds. So I can then take this bow, and in situations where I've got a 35-yard, maybe 40-yard shot I'm comfortable with, I don't have to guesstimate with my 30, 40 pin. I can dial in particularly for that shot and then make the adjustment. Likewise, when I'm out in South Dakota and I'm comfortable with and open to taking a 60-yard shot on a mule deer or something like that, I can use that adjustability and yet still have the quick draw ability and finding the right pin really fast if something comes up on me really quickly. Because the whole, the other aspect of that is, like, when something's in close range, having to get like the exact pin and then adjusting it, and the nightmare scenario of, which has totally happened to me before, where you left it on like 30 yards and you pull back and the thing's at 15, you're screwed. You have to adjust. With the 4-pin convert style or covert style, you're fine. You're fine. And you can make those adjustments and you'll have the best of both fixed pin and adjustable pin. So maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'll hate it, but I think the more I'm in the woods, I like that versatility. So, just want to give you a little preview of what's coming up for Hunt XP. Thanks for hanging with us here. A couple more. Johnny and I are going to start recording, as I said. And we've got Cody, who's on our crew, my brother, who kicks things off for us. He's going out in the early high country mule deer mountains, doing some backcountry stuff in Idaho. And I hope he brings his camera with him. If he does, we'll have a video on it. Then our season kicks off. We've got a goose opener in Wisconsin that we're going to get out for. We're going to try to do some more waterfowl content this season. Then our whitetail season starts in earnest, and Johnny's been working hard up in his neck of the woods on a new piece of property, new management. Him and Ben Larson, who is a cousin of mine, been on the podcast multiple times, have been transforming that piece of property to a managed piece of property. And it's going to be really interesting to see what comes through on that property and what happens over time. So that we've got going on. I've got tags in both Minnesota and Wisconsin, as I normally do. We'll probably do archery, firearm in each of those. Johnny, of course, will be out there. The culmination of our season that we have planned this year, we're not doing much Western hunting this year. Neither one of us. We're sticking around home. But we are going to travel to Illinois to hang out with some buddies down there, people who've been on the podcast before, hunt some public land in Illinois, and maybe get the chance at a little bit bigger class of deer than we're used to seeing in the Northwoods. So stay tuned for that. We're going to gear up for that as we go and bring you unboxing content like this, gear reviews, hunting videos. So hang with us. We're excited for what is to come. So I left a little teaser for you at the end. Got some more unboxing to do. This is from our friends at TruDave, who make waders, boots. I already have a pair of boots from them, like low cut rubber boots that I wear all the time. I chuck them on. I just wore them to hang trail cams the other day. They are great. They're awesome. What I love about TruDave is they're coming in at a price point where they're going to come under some of the other things on the market. They're way more affordable, particularly for items that you know you're going to get a lot of use out of. And I have found in my time of using it that the quality holds up. So there's a couple things I want to unbox for you to end our first live sesh here. And please stay tuned for the podcast coming out. Our first episode will drop next Thursday. That will likely either be Josh from the Untamed or Nick from the Hunting Public. All right. The first thing up here from TruDave, I said a couple different kinds of waders. So here we have their trout fishing waders. So I know not hunting content, but we're outdoorsmen. So these are great. These come in at like $120, which is so much better. I know the quality is not as good as your Sims or something like that, but if you're someone like me who hunts for trout, trout fishes every once in a while. Like I've got a place in Tennessee that we love to go to, world-class trout fishing. I've been looking for a set of waders, but don't want to break the bank. So I have more to spend on hunting, basically. This is just perfect for me. So here's what's going to come. Our little phone holder in this box. Here's the bag here that it will come in. So I will open this up. Sorry for the crinkle noises. I'm sure you're hearing that. Let's see if I can back this up here. It's nice. It comes in a little bag. That's slick. We're keeping that all together. These, of course, are not going to be insulated, but this is perfect for me to throw in my suitcase for fishing down in Tennessee or up here in Minnesota. So here we go. Slick. I like the colors. We got a little up front here, a little place to put flies. Got a front pouch. Oh, this is great. Waterproof front pouch. Oh, it comes, look at that. It comes with a patch kit right in it. anticipates that you're going to beat these things up, which is awesome. Material feels great. This is a large. Good. See that they got reinforcement up around the butt and around the knees a little bit too. And then on the bottom here, this is like boot style. So you got your neoprene boot here that comes up to about mid calf. And then this is designed to be paired with a fishing boot. So I know not our normal hunting content, but hey, if you're like me and you like to just get outdoors and enjoy, and you don't want to drop all the money on your fishing hobby, so you can save some for your hunting hobby, there you go. Great fly fishing waders. Excited to test those out even this summer. And I have paired them with, this is a great thing to have just around even camp and stuff, these boots here. So these are their low cut water boots in Hunt XP color. These are awesome. These are great. I'm stoked for these just to wear them around the boat, but also I will pair these, and they got grip here. Instead of investing in super expensive fly fishing boots or something like this, I'm going to put these on with the neoprene. Ordered them a little bit big. They look awesome. They got this little thing out the back so you can just step on them with the other foot and slip them on. So the combo is these with the waders, and I think they will do me good. I don't know. You guys like to fish for trout? Let me know if you got any good spots around you. If you're in Tennessee, let me know. East Tennessee in particular. South Holston, that's where I fish. So I'm excited to try those out there. This is the real prize, and we've been stoked to test these out. These are their hunting waders. So come in a box like this. I'm gonna get a couple extras here. Also, cell phone carrier for that. This is like a game hook, I think, for this, or like hooking up the waders. And here are the waders themselves. We're excited. I think Johnny has got a pair of these coming to him as well. So here's what's awesome about these. These waders, I think, are on sale right now for like $90. Like, my goodness, you can drop money on waders. And I know you just tear through them. So $90, if you're a guy like me who, you know, doesn't do a ton of waterfowl fishing. Oh, I'm switching my sports tonight. Don't do a ton of waterfowl hunting, but you want to get out there with the boys and get after it. For $80, 600 gram insulated waders for not, I think they're at $90 right now. They're on sale. Just awesome. Just got the shotgun shell holders there. Got a full band of them here too. Front pocket, Velcro here, there, and also kind of muff style front pocket in there. Dude, these are great. Haven't had a solid pair of waders in such a long time. I'm stoked for these. They even have this internal zip pocket for inside your chest to maybe put a phone or something that you want to for sure keep dry in front. That would be great, dude. Excited to get it out. Get after some ducks and geese with Trav. He's our waterfowl guy. There you go. Check those out. Link in the description on YouTube. I will post the full gear list with links right now in the chat. You'll have everything you need to check out this gear in more detail. Guys, this has been so fun. Thanks for hanging out for this live Hunt XP. Join us for more fun as we launch this season. Peace.